Hi, everybody. We're talking about testing your faith. And to recap a little bit, we first asked the question of why do you believe, and we tried to get down to the root reason of why. And then we asked the second question of if that weren't true, would you still believe? If it was the true root reason, the answer would be no. So let me give an example. I've had a couple of responses. One of them was not a sincere or intellectually honest person, but one of them was, I think. His name was Shibboleth, and he said he believed in the Trinity and the gospel because it made sense to him or her, I'm not sure. So that's great. I think that's a good root reason. So then I asked the question, if it didn't make sense to you, would you still believe it? He or she has not responded, which is fine. They probably have more to do with their life than talk to me. I presume the answer would have been no, though. And so that's an excellent example. He or she said, I believe it because it makes sense. And if it didn't make sense, I wouldn't believe it anymore. So that little logical exercise establishes Shibboleth's threshold of believability. That's what I'm calling it. If there are any students of epistemology out there, or logic or philosophy, who knows the correct term for this, please tell me. But the threshold of believability is basically how credible does something have to be to this individual in order for them to believe it. Shibboleth's threshold of believability is that which makes sense. We're going to probably go through a couple of other examples after this one, but once you have the threshold of believability defined, you then have to say, okay, could I be mistaken? Is that threshold reliable? And is that threshold good enough for me to figure out what is true and not have any human error involved? Well, unfortunately, a lot of human error in what makes sense to people. A lot of people think it makes sense that the earth is flat, or it makes sense that they believe Islam or Judaism or Hinduism, or they have all studied it, analyzed it, and it makes sense to them. Are all those people right? No, they are not. So that threshold of believability is not reliable. So you could be mistaken.